That's on the other one. Keep an eye on that one, because that one's about to go off, dude.
So Matt's reeling the second of a double here. We just got the other fish in the water and boom, we're on again. This is on Cal's, oh, jumper.
That rod didn't go off. Oh, that's nice. Look at that bend. Nice. Power's good.
Swing it in this way.
Come on, baby.
Nice.
Howdy folks, Cal Kellogg here. As you can see, Wes Ward and his buddy Matt, they went out to the West Delta last week and they put the smack down on the stripers. Now Wes, he was a plugger for a long time. He was out there fishing out of his Hobie kayak, but ever since he got access to that fish sniffer Duckworth, he's become quite the troller. He's trolling for landlocked kings. He's trolling for trout, and he wanted to go trolling for stripers. So I wanted to go too, but I couldn't. I was out on the Happy Hooker drifting live bait for halibut and rockfish and stuff like that. But Wes was determined to get out there, so he grabbed his buddy Matt, and I called Captain David Hammond to Delta Pro Fishing for kind of an update and some pointers, and he told me, you know what, let's get those guys out there in the usual spots on the West Bank, deep running plugs, tip them with worms, and they should have no problem. They should catch about a dozen fish. Well, just to show you how on top of the bite David is, I think they caught 10 or 11. So not only did he tell them where to go and what to do, he pretty much predicted how many fish they were going to catch too, so that's pretty cool. Before they left, I set them up with some deep running P-line predators, a couple Yozuris, some white worms, some pink worms, and a couple of my new striper trolling rods. It's actually not just a striper trolling rod, I call it the SHS series, stripers, halibut, and salmon. And it took me over a year to find this rod. I've got one right here. I had some very specific criteria for this rod. I wanted an 8-foot graphite rod. I wanted a rod that had a fair amount of backbone, but I also wanted a rod with a sensitive tip so I could see lures working on it. I wanted a rod that could be used for striper trolling in the Delta, bait fishing in the Delta, salmon trolling in the Delta and Valley, and live bait drifting out in San Francisco Bay for stripers and halibut. I wanted a rod with a long grip, I wanted a foam grip, and I wanted a trigger on it. And this rod has all of that. I wanted it to be 8 feet long, and I wanted it to be a 2-piece rod. 8-foot rods are great on boats, they're great when you're out fishing, but transporting them to and from the fishing grounds in your car or in your truck can be a pain. So I wanted a rod that you could break down into 2 pieces for easy transport. And this rod checks all the boxes. I call it my SHS series of striper, halibut, and salmon. And it's been working great all summer, and we're really looking forward to fishing it more this fall. We're going to be going out after salmon with it here soon, more striper fishing, stuff like that. Speaking of this rod, I've got a great deal for you guys. I'm trying to pass on gear to you guys that has great, utility. It's very versatile, but it comes at a great, price point. This rod by itself, it's just an $89 rod. I love $200 rods, but I'll tell you what, I've broken a lot of $200 rods. People send them to me all the time, and it's a lot less painful if you have an accident and you break an $89 rod. And I like tackle that doesn't break the bank. I like tackle that I can go catch fish on that's not super expensive. So this rod by itself is 89 bucks, but I've got a really sweet deal to go along with the rod. You're going to be fishing stripers this fall. You're going to be fishing salmon this fall. I want to set you up with a rod and a tackle combo that's going to put you on the road to success and allow you to save some money while doing it. So you're going to get this whole combo deal for $120, 120 bucks. You're going to get the rod, you're going to get a deep running P-line predator that's going to put you on the road to success when you're striper trolling out there. And I've also got a selection of salmon lures to throw in. Let me show these to you. I'm back. Along with that deep running predator and the rod, you're going to get 2 of these Bob Toman spinners. You may not have used these yet, but you want to be using these if you want to catch salmon in the Delta and throughout the river system. I've seen big kings caught on these in Alaska. I've caught big kings on them on the Rogue River, on the Columbian, and on the Sacramento. They're a very special spinner. Bob Toman was a guide in the Pacific Northwest for decades, and he worked long and hard designing that blade. He was looking for a blade that made a special thump that really set off the strike impulse in river run kings, and he finally perfected it. These are hands down some of the most effective salmon trolling lures you can use. The blade utilizes a special brass alloy. It doesn't tarnish over time. It's got powder coated UV paint on it, scratch resistant. It doesn't fade. Just a great quality blade with great quality paint. It's just overall just a quality product. And the hook is rigid mounted in such a way that it's always in position to sink into the salmon's mouth when they strike. The hook doesn't flop around, so when they come biting, they're getting hooked. So with this kit, you get the deep running P-line Predator, you get 2 Bob Toman spinners. I'm throwing in a T50 flatfish, wrap that with some sardine, run it along the bottom of the river. That's been catching salmon in California for decades. And I'm also tossing in 2 of my hand-tied striper bait fishing leaders. They're 48 inches long, cut them to length, put a loop in the top. They're tied with Eagle Claw laser sharp, Teflon coated 8/0 octopus hooks. I've added a bead and I'm tying them on 25-pound P-line CXX in the moss green color. Extremely tough, extremely durable line. So when you hook a big striper, he's gonna stay hooked. You're gonna land that fish. So to recap, 120 bucks. You're gonna get my 2-piece SHS rod. You're going to be ready for salmon, halibut, and stripers. You're going to get 2 of my hand-tied custom bait fishing leaders. You're going to get 2 of the Bob Toman Yakima bait spinners. You're going to get a T50 flatfish, and you're going to get a deep running P-line Predator. How can you beat that deal? 120 bucks. You're going to get the rod, all the plugs you need to get started fishing this fall, and you are going to be on the road to success catching salmon, catching stripers, and you're not going to break the bank doing it. Anyway, there's a link here somewhere. I don't know how that works. Wes sets that all up. It'll take you to the store. There are limited quantities of this special combo, so get on there. If you're interested in salmon fishing, striper fishing this fall, this is a deal you're not going to want to pass up. What I'm trying to do here is pass along great quality gear to you folks at good prices, gear that I can stand behind, gear that I know is going to help you catch more and bigger fish out in the field. And this is the ultimate combo for the striper and salmon trollers out there. So if you're interested, bounce on over to the store, grab yours. It will be delivered to your house in a matter of days, and you'll be ready to yell fish on. If you're focused primarily on trolling, you're going to want to top that rod with a line counter reel. If you're just going for all-around utility, just any kind of level wine's going to work. You want to spool up with anywhere from 30 to 65-pound test braid, and you're ready for action, baby. Anyway, thanks for supporting the channel. I hope this gear helps you catch a lot of big fish this fall. I'm Cal Kellogg. It's Sunday morning. I'm going home for some scrambled eggs and get away from these mosquitoes. And I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube, folks. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the comments. And I'll be back at you real soon. You have a great day. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Anyway, this is Cal Kellogg. I'm signing off.